Last year, I ranked every Undertale character, and with the next 2 chapters of Deltarune releasing in a few months, I thought now would be the perfect time to tackle Deltarune. Let's start with Chris. They are a very mysterious character, because while we do control them, there are many times in the game where we can't control them. But since we're only 2 chapters in, I'm only gonna put Chris in great for now, but Susie is my favorite character in the whole game, and that is for one reason and one reason alone. I can see my younger self in Susie, and that is all I'm gonna say. Before chapter 2, I always found Berdly super annoying, but after finishing chapter 2, Berdly's kind of a phenomenal character, isn't he? Also, I love his Dark World design. I'm not really sure how I feel about Noelle. She's just such a complex character, and there's so much we still don't know about her. We know she has a childhood with Chris, her sister is missing. I'm so curious at where her character is gonna go, but for now, she's gonna go right next to Susie in Peak. Temmie is just one of those copy-paste characters from Undertale, and personally, I really like the species of Temmie. But I'm not gonna be biased, I'm gonna put School Temmie in average. Hattie's another one of the hometown characters that we just don't know enough about yet, so for now they can go on average as well. Same with Monster Kid. There's just not too much to say about them currently. I think I'm gonna put the rest of the school NPCs in the average tier. I like Snowy more than Monster Kid. I'm not really sure how to feel about Rudy. They're sick in the hospital, they have a history with Asgore. A lot of people think that Rudy is gonna die, which I also think is pretty likely. They can go above Chris and Great. So many think Father Alvin is the Knight, and while yes, there is some evidence for it, I think it's too early to call him the Knight. I'm one of those people that don't really talk to the hometown NPCs too much, which is why I'm not covering all of them in this ranking. I'll put Father Alvin behind Jockington, but now we can move into the Dark World and talk about Ralsei. I don't think Ralsei's evil or anything, but he's definitely hiding something from us, especially with the cutscenes that we can't see because we have to watch Susie. I think Ralsei is just the classic we don't know too much about him right now, so I can't call him a phenomenal character, but he can definitely go in great. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of Lancer. I mean, I don't dislike him. He's definitely going in either peak or phenomenal, but a little part of me finds him just annoying, I guess. I'll put him behind Berdly and Phenomenal. I don't know why I'm including Dummy Ralsei in this list, but I think it's funny, and I like it more than Monster Kid. The Rudens are like the Froggets in Undertale, but I think Ruden's design is so much better than just a basic frog. Based off the design alone, I'm gonna put them in great, but behind Chris. I like Hathey a lot less than Ruden. I still think it's a great design though. I think Jigsaw is just that one enemy that I don't like, but I don't dislike, and because of that, I have to put them in average. I like Snowy better. I don't really interact with the Puzzle Masters. I wouldn't say they're boring, so they will all go at the back of average. Jigsaw Joe has a bit more character to him, but I still wouldn't say he's a great character. He can go above the regular Jigsaw. The Top Chef is kind of the same. He's just one of those more blander characters, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but in terms of how much I like them, it definitely kicks them down a notch, above Dummy Ralsei. But I think Sham is super interesting. Not peak interesting, but undeniably a phenomenal character. There's just so much you can learn from him, and I'm curious to see what happens if you stay in a Dark World overnight. We might see that in Chapter 3, but who knows. Pawnman is so simple, but I love their design. I like Ruden more though. I could say the same about the other chess NPCs, but I do like Hathey more than Mr. Elegance, and I like Mr. Elegance more than Mr. Society. I don't care about the block guys, so much so that they are going to be our first boring characters. But C-Round is just a little guy, behind Chris and Great, and then K-Round is the same character, but bigger. I think I like the little one more. But let's talk about the coat rack. It's really just like the Dummy Ralsei, and I'm really gonna put the coat rack above Monster Kid. I like the worm. I'd say I even like him more than Ruden, and I can't explain why, I just do. But what about this dancing tree guy? I think it's just funny. It can go behind Temmie. I really don't like Bloxer. I've done 3 videos where I played the most unfair mod of Deltarune, and this guy has an undodgeable attack that will pretty much just one-hit you, and there's not really anything you can do about it. I'm making a new tier just for Bloxer. Enjoy your spot at the bottom. I like Clover. I think their fight in the forest is kind of boring, but the one in the dojo can actually be difficult. And I like how you have to know Clover's character well if you want to do well in that fight. She can go behind Ralsei. I think the Starwalker bird is the best overworld enemy. It doesn't feel right putting him in Phenomenal, but I'll put them above C-Round, and I'm gonna put the original Starwalker in Peak. It's just the one character that isn't even necessarily good, but everyone loves him because it's the original Starwalker. Does that make sense? I don't really like Rabek all that much. They're not boring like the 2 block guys. Actually, I like them more than Jigsaw. You know the small bird from Undertale? Personally, this little ball feels just like that, and I'm gonna put it behind Sham. If Starwalker Bird is the best overworld enemy, I think the Scissor Dancers are the second best. I like them more than Pawnman. I think Malleus has a great design. It feels kind of like Smithy from Mario RPG. He's also quite an important character actually, because he fuses your items and fixes the broken cake and the broken key, I'll put him above Lancer. The Rudin Rangers are just the upgraded forms of Rudin that personally I actually think is worse than regular Rudin. Even their attacks just feel worse than Rudin's. And I can't be alone in thinking that, right? But Head Heithi is just an improvement of Heithi, and that's all I have to say about her. I think the pair of eyes is hilarious. That being said, there isn't really much to it, but I like the pair of eyes more than the Puzzle Masters. I'm gonna be honest, I had no idea the Circus Wagon was a genuine character, and for that reason, it's going straight into boring tier. I guess I do like its design slightly, but I don't think it saves it. I think the Caged Kings are fine. I think I've only spoken to them once, so I don't remember what they say. I'll put them behind the pair of eyes because the pair of eyes is just funny, and I could say the same about the regular animals, but the Kings just have a way better design. Rules Card is just the definition of a phenomenal character. He shows up, says god damn it, and leaves. And as much as it would get repetitive, I hope he returns in every chapter. I think Jevils also a great character, but actually now that I'm thinking about it, remember the unfair mod in Bloxer? I feel the same thing about Jevil. Like, he doesn't have an impossible attack, but his whole fight just feels impossible. I'm putting him in the Bloxer tier. I don't care. And to finish chapter 1, we have Pippin. Before making this tier list for this video, I had no idea this was even a character, so I think I have to put them in boring. But moving into chapter 2, we start with Plug Boy. I'm not really sure how to feel about Plug Boy. It feels kind of like the Toads from Mario. I'll put them behind Temmie. And then Werewire is just a way better design. And that one Werewire in Chapter Town agrees that this form is just so much cooler. I think I like the designs of Rudin better though. I love Task. If it's a cat character, there's a very high chance I love them. Task will go in phenomenal behind Sham. Do I even have to say anything about Newbird? Bumped is cool, I guess, and that's the only thing I can think to say about him. I do like the Hacker though. I don't love the Hacker, but he's a great character. I don't really care for the Sweet Cap and Cakes. I think they're fine. I don't dislike them, but they are gonna be gatekept by Temmie, and I think I like Sweet the best of the three. I love how Mouse is just a computer mouse, but that is the only thing I like about them. They will go above Rabbik. Also, I just now realized I forgot to talk about King in Chapter 1. I don't really have a whole lot to say about him. He did almost win against the Lightners, so I guess I do like how he is kinda threatening until he gets thrown in jail. I like the Worm better. But back to Chapter 2. Icon Man just feels like the blocks from Chapter 1. I like the blocks design better than these two. I think the Addisons are fine. They're kind of like the Puzzle Masters to me, but I like them a lot better. I'll put them behind Font. I think Virakin's fine. And I like the doctor outfits that the characters get from this enemy. It feels like the Jigsaw of Chapter 2 for me. I like the ambulance design, but I like the design of Heithi more. Trashy is just the exact opposite of Newbird. I'm not gonna put him in boring though, because I do like him a little bit, but he'll get beat by Dummy, or I'll say. The pop-ups give some more lore in the characters, which is nice. But other than that, it's just another Virakin for me. I like fighting Virakin more. Now, Spamton. I don't dislike Spamton, but I wouldn't say I like him either. It's kind of like how I feel with Lancer, but I like Lancer a lot more than Spamton. I'll put Spamton behind Chris. Mouse Million is just Mouse with hair. I like the original Mouse better, but I do really like Mouse Wheel. Not only is their design good, I think their battle is also pretty good. It can go above the Worm. Do you remember when I said the Starwalker bird was the best overworld NPC? Yeah, I changed my mind. I like the Gimmick Saucer so much more. Behind Task and Phenomenal. I like Task Manager too. It's also cool that you can skip her fight if you're paying attention. She's another phenomenal character, especially with that design, but I don't care about these robots. They'll both go behind Pippin and Boring. I really like the Swatchings as an enemy, and as simple as matching their colors is, I really do like that aspect of them. Behind Task Manager, I like Swatch a lot. That design is just phenomenal. I think the Wall Plug's fine, above Rabbik, and I think the Thrash Machine is awesome. There's just so much customization you can do with it, and I'm curious if it's gonna return in a future chapter. Above Spamton. I think Werewire is the best design of an enemy in the whole game, and I remember my first time fighting one at the top of the Queen's Mansion. I'll admit it kicked my ass, but I love that challenge. And finally, there's Queen. Queen is just a good character. From the design, the dialogue, the boss fight, I don't think I could say anything bad about her. Right there in peak. And that's most Deltarune characters ranked. If you want to see me do it again with chapters 3 and 4, then consider subscribing. Look, I didn't know how to end this video.